Thanks so much for tuning into this conversation on earnings with BloombergQuint. We are talking to the management of Mindtree. They came out with the numbers which largely met estimates. Mr. Debashis Chatterjee needs no introduction, really joins us right now to talk about how the quarter was and how the quarters ahead could be like. Mr. Chatterjee, good having you. Thanks for joining in. Hope all is safe. Can you put the quarter into perspective, sir?
Thank you, Niraj. Thank you for having me here. Yeah, the overall, the good thing about the quarter was that we had diversified growth, broad-based growth across all the industry segments that we operate in, and we also seen broad-based growth across all the geographies that we operate in. And we have recently launched our strategy, the refresh strategy. So that also is resonating well with our clients, and that is what is culminated in the growth and the EBITDA numbers that you see.
Yeah, I mean, margins were very, very strong. Is this something that you presume is it is an industry phenomenon, as I talk to your peers as well across, and all of them seem to suggest that this will last. Do you think these are sustainable tailwinds that you as an industry and a company have, or could these change?
Well, I think, we had put in a lot of effort over the last 12 months to put a proper program to improve the operational efficiencies. And what you see in this quarter is a culmination of all the effort of the last 12 months. We have been talking about profitable growth. So we have been increasing the margin over a period of time. But going forward, I think we have reached a band where I think it's important that we sustain this margin. So at this point of time, we are fairly confident that this is the band which we want to sustain as we go forward.
Got it. Mr. Chatterjee, when I look at your growth even sequentially, so when I look at all verticals, almost all of them did well. Can you dwell upon what is looking the strongest? And then I'll come to geographies, because there I thought, contrary to what some of the others have done, your Asia Pacific numbers don't quite look all that great, maybe a bit chalky. But can we first talk about the verticals, then we'll get to geographies?
See, as far as the industry verticals are concerned, we have 4 verticals: BFSI, RCM, CMT, and DTH. Travel, transport, hospitality is a sector which will take some time to recover, and we had a significant impact due to that, due to COVID on that in the vertical. But if you look at specific areas of call out, there has been good momentum in CPG within our RCM practice, and even within CMT practice, many of the technology companies with whom we work, there has been significant traction. And there are, we can see that the demand is slowly picking up in BFSI. But it will still take a little bit of time. And TTH, as I told you, it's still a few quarters away. But overall, the growth that we see, I think it's a broad-based growth, which is encouraging for us.
Okay, what about the fact that geographically there has been, for lack of a better word, a bit of a skew? Why is it that the Asia Pacific numbers don't look as buoyant as maybe they look for some of your peers, some of who are even smaller than you?
So if you look at the numbers are more in terms of what happens in a specific quarter in a specific geography. But if you look at it, our Europe has done well. UK has been a decent growth. Even continental Europe has been a decent growth. And I can only say that, rather than looking at a quarterly phenomena, we should look at what is our overall strategy for growth. If you look at the 4 geographies in which we want to focus, we are heavily dependent on North America. But as a part of the refresh strategy, we are going to focus a lot in terms of UK, continental Europe, and the Asia Pacific. So that's where that's how the growth will emerge. And as of now, I think there may be a bit aberration for one quarter, but overall, we are very positive and bullish in terms of, again, a broad-based growth across these geographies.
Okay, but you seem to be suggesting, Mr. Chatterjee, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that even if growth in Asia Pacific looks or remains weak, it is a reason of a focus that you're giving to North America and Europe, and not necessarily a fallout of any kind of losses of clientele or business in that region. It's more a case of focus in some of the other geographies. Is that a correct assessment?
No, let me take a step back. We have a very clearly laid out 4x4x4 strategy that we rolled out just in the last 90 days. So the 4 industry verticals in which we are going to focus are these 4, which I mentioned: RCM, TTH, BFSI, and CMT. The 4 geographies in which we are going to focus: North America, we have been very strong, but the other 3 geographies are going to be UK, Ireland, continental Europe, and Asia Pacific. And then we have got 4 service lines, which I don't want to get into details now. But what I'm saying is that if I look at the growth that will come from the various geographies, I want every geography to grow. And overall, Asia Pacific, is something that we are focusing on. With the focus that we have brought in Asia Pacific, I think the numbers will also signify changes as we go along.
Okay. Now, Q3 is typically seasonally weak, but you've mentioned probably on the call that you see revenue growth momentum in Q3. What is driving that? Is this something out of ordinary, or is this because the tailwind that this whole digital and IT outsourcing space has, which leads to this?
Well, there are, if you look at the overall order book, for the first half of the year has been pretty good. It has been 694 million, which is 10% higher than the order book at a similar point of time last year, which means that we have got a decent order book. The pipeline is also fairly healthy. And we have also closed a few deals which are going to ramp up in the next quarters. So given all these aspects, we are very confident that the growth momentum that we have set up right now, it's going to continue into the next quarter as well. And whatever tailwinds we had, we have already captured all those things. But overall, I think the growth momentum is sustainable into the next quarter.
Just one final question, Mr. Chatterjee, and that is the one concern that I think I saw across 2 or 3 reports, and which was that the deal intake isn't looking as buoyant. How would you overall respond to that? Again, would you say that it's a quarterly phenomenon and things will reverse in Q3, or is it something else?
See, as far as deals are concerned, our pipeline is fairly robust. And what happened a quarter back when clients were holding back in terms of conversations, I think the conversations have started. So I can say that the client conversations are going on. We had our TCV looks good till the half of the year. And we see a healthy pipeline as far as our portfolio is concerned. So given all those aspects, we are fairly confident in getting into the next quarter.
Which means that you believe that the deal inflows will look materially different in Q3 and Q4 than what they have looked in Q2. Is that a good assessment?
I would say that the deal inflows that were almost paused and stalled, those conversations have started. So if everything goes fine, we should see a good uptick.
Okay. Well, in which case, we wish you all the best for those to happen as well, Mr. Chatterjee. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us today at BloombergQuint, and all the best for the quarters ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Niraj. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Have a
Pleasure is
great
ours.
day.